Good morning, folks. It's Lindsay Helson with SPS back in the building. Yes, that hot weekend came and went. We're back on Monday. It's another Monday Motivation. Hope everyone is doing okay. Hope you had a great weekend. I had a great weekend indeed. Didn't want it to end, but we can't just live for the weekend. Got to be able to enjoy every day, even though you might be going to work. Who is this checking in? Let me guess. It's Michelle. Good morning, Michelle. YouTube, Michelle, they give you this big plaque when you get like 100,000 subscribers. I don't have that, but I got to get you a plaque for being the SPS Monday Motivation biggest supporter. You're so supportive of me in the program, what's going on. I appreciate you, and I love to be able to support you guys too and what's going on. But what is today's Monday Motivation, Michelle? It's don't be a shark with no teeth. That's right. Don't be a shark with no teeth. Lindsay, what are you talking about? I'm talking about execution, and we'll get to that. But let's talk about this shark, this great white shark. Look at this beast. Oh, my God. It is the king of the ocean. When we were children playing, Michelle, we would say things like we were playing on the bed and things like that. Good morning, Brother Marshall. And if the off the bed was the water, you say, don't get in the water, there's sharks in the water. Or you'll be riding somewhere, and I guess every question we have is, are there sharks out there? Believe in you and what you do. I appreciate it. I appreciate you believing in me. It's so important that someone can believe in someone. You'd be amazed at the way that goes. And it's appreciated. It truly is. And Brother Marshall, thank you again. I hope you had a great golf outing up there in Bearcat Country. I saw y'all was out there getting it in. But we're talking about this shark, man. You're like, ooh, sharks in that water. People don't worry about piranhas being in water. People don't worry about any kind of dolphin being in the water. You worry about those sharks. What a reputation they have. And rightfully so. You look inside the mouth of a shark. You look at those teeth, man. It's like, whoa, do you really want to mess with that? But what I want to get at, folks, is some interesting things, going on with sharks. Kevin Marshall said that his golf outing went well. What a lot of people don't know, Kevin, is that with sharks, they have no bones in their entire body. This whole thing, their skeleton is made entirely of cartilage. It's kind of like this elastic tissue. And what happens with the cartilage is softer than bone. So it's not even as hard as bone, and it will dissolve over the years in the ocean salt water. That's why, so many shark teeth wash up on the ocean floor, because after the shark dies, there's nothing else there but the teeth, right? And once that cartilage of a dead shark is gone, the only thing is left those teeth, like I said. And it's made of this calcified tissue called dentine. It's like a hard enamel. So what am I getting at? I was out at the Derek Coleman DC Elite Summer Basketball League. I'll be out there throughout the summer, guys. And see all these young people out here. Michelle, you work with young people. Coach Marshall, of course, you work with young people. And especially this being graduation time, the open houses and all that. The kids is doing well. I got a good friend. His daughter, she couldn't even get any money on Cash App, because Cash App was like, this is too much money for a kid. And they were questioning. So they're doing really well. So they had to divert the Cash App. And, you see the kids, you hand them the envelope. They say, thank you. I don't know who you are, but thank you. And they go on about their way. So what I'm getting at is this, especially for our young people. They may be feeling real bad right now in a good way. They're feeling like they're land sharks. They're out here. They're making moves. People are showing them love. They're getting dressed up. They got money in their pocket. They're feeling good. But it's very important that they still do not become shark with no teeth. They still have to execute. They still have to be able to execute their plans. They still have to be able to follow through. Great example is last night, CP3 and company, Monty Williams. Shout out to Coach Monty Williams. Met him years ago. He's part of that USA basketball family. He was at Michigan State, actually. We had a great conversation. The Phoenix Suns have advanced to the Western Conference Finals. My goodness. But if you notice at the end of the press event, Coach Monty Williams wears a hat. And it says, what WD greater than WS? And what that means, Kevin, is well done is better than well said. Get that? Well done is better than well said. And what we have to realize, we do not want to be shark without teeth, meaning that we just go around and we may scare people, We may intimidate people, or we may feel some kind of way where people move out the way and people say, oh, here comes Lindsay, or what does he have going on? But if I don't have any teeth, it defeats the purpose. I can't execute. I can't be that person I need to be, going forward. You have to keep that in mind. You have to have some teeth, folks. You have to be able to execute. Forbes has done some research as far as what's important when it comes to execution. And in that research, they found there's some things that you need to really focus on. Some things include being strategic and being clear with people. You got to be strategic out here. You got to be strategic with the moves you make as far as what you're trying to accomplish. Now, Lindsay and SPS can have this big plan, but if I'm not strategic, if I'm not getting my dates right, if I'm not finding out what am I going to do first, who am I going to see next, it doesn't matter. And I think it's important that we keep that in mind. We can have the biggest ideas, the biggest plans, but if we don't have a strategy to execute those, it doesn't matter. And I think that happens all too often. We have these great ideas with the greatest intent, and we just jump off the porch. Sometimes we're motivated by the idea. We just get out there and do it. I get that. And there is such a thing called a paralysis of analysis, where we get stuck just sitting there trying to figure it out and we never move forward. But there's nothing wrong with sitting down beforehand and making some notes. Okay, this is what I need to do first. This is what I need to call. And outlining these things, that is very, very important. So the one thing I want to talk about is you definitely want to be able to be strategic and clear. What is it you're trying to get done? Think it through. And so many times we just go off the sheer emotion, and you can have a great idea, but what really makes the idea work and come into play is being strategic. What do you say, Brother Marshall? And you have to be true to what you believe and know and have a shark mentality and go out there and get it. I agree with that. I agree with that shark mentality, Kev. No doubt. I had a friend of mine said a long time ago, he would always make lawyer jokes. I hate lawyers. I hate lawyers. He said, until you need one. And when you need one, you want a shark. You want somebody out for blood. And what'd you say, Michelle? Jumping in the deep, but can't swim. Yeah. Well, Cat Williams shouldn't be talking stuff. Don't get out there. Don't just jump out there. There's nothing wrong with having the desire to want to do something, but you got to be strategic. Keep that in mind. Got my brother Juan Wyndham checking in. Said, good morning. Hope you're healing. I am, brother. I am healing well. And we are definitely following up on the goals that we set. The next thing that we're talking about, Juan, with this is also you want to be able to stretch those goals. You said it in deadlines. Set stretch goals, that is. And what that's saying is, okay, what are we going to do and how are we going to get it done? See, the problem normally happens is many times we don't have the ability to be able to communicate with someone and say what we want to do, or we don't even want to set goals for ourselves. We don't even want to look at that calendar and say, man, I got to make sure I get this done. Let me get this done, tomorrow. No doubt. Let me put that on there. Let me set that deadline. Let me wrap up things. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes goals can push us to cut out the things that are unnecessary. You say, look, man, if I got to get this done, let me just shut this thing down right now. And then that can get you past that paralysis of analysis where you just stuck just looking at something like that. So you want to stretch goals and have deadlines. That's very, very important. A few more things we want to look at, right? A few more things. You also want to be able to give feedback and give it often. So many times, as leaders, or just for example, being with the young people playing basketball, they're silent. Coach Marshall, you know about that. Coach Mimi, you know about that. They're not communicating. And feedback is important. Research has shown the more often you give feedback, the better someone is going to be equipped to reach the goal that they set. Because now I know I'm on the right track. How many times have you had a project, you've been given something, and they say, okay, this is what you need to do. You're sitting there saying, like, well, do they want it done like this? Do they want it done like that? You try to figure out what it is they're trying to get done, right? How do you get that motivation for your goals? You ask Juan. That's a very good question, Juan. Well, this is what I do, and I got some clients I'm going to be sitting down with this week. Excellent question. When you talk about getting that motivation for your goals, you have to step back. And you have to step back and think about where you want to be. And I always say 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Once had someone tell me that they don't like to think that far. But if you don't know what is going to make you happy in the distance, like what do you want things to look like, it's going to be very hard to set those upfront goals, Juan. So for me, for example, my daughter being the center of my life, I know that at age 9, in approximately 10 years, she's going to be a college student. Great question, Juan. I want to give you an answer, a perfect answer for how that goes. She's going to be a college student. Well, for me, my motivation is I want my daughter to be able to go to college anywhere in the world. Okay, one, I want to be able to go to college anywhere in the world. For some reason, I got this Stanford thing in my head, but I think it's more so saying if she wanted to go to California. And I, as her father, want to be able to have a lifestyle that I can go wherever she is. Daddy, I'm going to Stanford. Okay, Daddy, move out there. Daddy, be there. Daddy, have a condo not too far from where you are. So my mindset is what kind of lifestyle, what kind of education, what kind of experience do I need to have that when my daughter moves to Palo Alto, California, where Stanford is in that area, if I'm saying it correctly, I can just say, okay, I'm out there. I'm not landlocked in East Lansing, Michigan, or in Detroit, or wherever it may be. So my answer to that question, Juan, which is an excellent question, you need to project where you want to be. And so many times we're so scared to think about these big goals because all we do is look at where we are in the here and now. Man, I can't move to California right now. I'm over in East Lansing. I'm doing this and that. No, man, what a difference a day makes. I can only tell you that. What a difference a day makes. But that's an excellent question. Yeah, and you talk about these young people must talk. But Juan, I appreciate that. I appreciate that for sure. Also, too, I'm going to say lastly on that, we talk about that feedback and how it's important, Kevin. Derek Coleman made a good point this weekend when we were out there. Well, last week he said, listen to the basketball game. You don't hear nothing but the refs blowing the whistles and the shoes squeaking because the children have got so caught up in social media that they're not really communicators. And I think it's important that we get to the point that a leader on the team has to be able to communicate, has to be able to put that out there. Also, too, let's talk about team building and how important it is to have these team building exercises, especially for our young people, that they don't get caught in this silo of just saying, oh, me. I'm trying to get on. I'm trying to go to college and play ball. I'm trying to be the man. It's all these type of things that they're thinking about, Those listening skills are good too. You're right. You know about that being a leader, getting that feedback. We talked about that a second ago, Michelle. That feedback is so important, all the way around. So these are the things that are good to help you execute. Remember, at the end of the day, we don't want you to be a shark with no teeth. We don't want you just to be out here as a presence, as a name, but can't really execute. I'll tell a really quick story. Shout out to Kwame Kilpatrick. He's back home. We all know that 28 years was not the sentence he was supposed to be getting, if a sentence at all, when you talk about the political landscape. But I digress. But Kwame's back home. And I remember during that time when Kwame was elected, whether it's going down to floods or anything like that. That's right, Juan. No, I and team going down to floods. And during that era, you had a lot of young people that were involved in the political process. And I was one of them, being in the administration of Governor Jennifer Granholm. And I just remember a lot of times, a lot of young people would just show up, and have their business cards out and hand their business cards out and say, oh, here you go, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, but not really follow up, and just, oh, here you go. And it made me think, well, are these people just out here talking to be talking? And I told myself, I never want to be that person. So I had to think, Juan, that was another goal I had to set. So what is it going to take? Well, it really took that I couldn't be everywhere all the time. Yeah, it was an event going on. It was somewhere to go. I could put my suit and tie on and go in there and walk and be known. But I told myself I'd rather spend a little bit more extra time in the office and get things done and show up for a short amount of time and be known as, man, that's Lindsay. Man, he takes care of business, and now he's gone, in and out. And to be honest, that helped me really, in a great way, because eventually when I was with the Granholm administration, I was about to transition, I had a reputation. I had a reputation for being someone who followed up, who executed, who executed. I was not a shark with no teeth. I wasn't this presence that was well known, but didn't have the ability to execute. Well, it was on my heart to share that story today. It was on my heart to talk about this as the Monday Motivation. Hopefully this can be something that, as our great leaders, Juan, Kevin, and Michelle, listen to what's going on. You can share a positive message to our young people. I just appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving me going forward. And I just really know that SPS can continue to support you, support your mission and your dreams. And I appreciate you guys checking in on this Monday. So with that, have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great life. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.